Hi, this is Chelsea from Teaching in Pearls and welcome back to my channel. So people have been requesting a back to school Q&A. So yesterday I put out a question to my Instagram followers and you guys dropped me some Q&A questions. So let's get into this. So disclaimer, a lot of these questions that were answered, I actually already have like full videos on. So any video that I reference, I will definitely link in the description box below. But yeah, some of these are music focused, some of them are first day of school focused, some of them are like more middle school focused, I feel like. Here we go. Okay, so my friend Morgan asked, what is the best part about teaching music? I would say the best part about teaching music is that I get to be the fun class. I enjoy being a class that students look forward to going to, where they get to be creative and they feel like they have a lot of room to do a lot of fun activities versus written assignments. Sometimes my students don't even realize that they're learning, which is sort of my goal as a teacher. So I don't know, I really like being the fun specials class that they get to go to. Or when I taught middle school choir, a lot of them told me that choir was like their favorite part of the day, where they got to be creative and they got to really like show who they really were. So I love that. Laura asked if I could do a video on the first day of teaching kindergarten, or just give some insights on the first day of kindergarten as a specialist. The first day of kindergarten is a lot, so we are really lucky at our building. Also, by the way, if you hear like a gross noise, it's Gigi chewing ice like she has no gums in her mouth or something.
Or all gums. Or
all gums, no teeth in her mouth is what I meant. So anyways, kindergarten is hard, but our first day of school, the specialists do not have classes and we actually help with a lot of different things around the building. What's nice about it is that we get to have a feel for our incoming kindergarten class the first day before we see them on Tuesday, which is the second day of school, but our first day of teaching. Kindergarten, how do I describe them? They are like the cartoon with the Tasmanian devil that just like runs around and like is so fast that all you see is dust. That's basically kindergarten, but there's like 20 of them. So they, at least the kids that we get, most of them don't go to preschool, and if they do go to preschool, it's not structured. It's more of just a daycare type facility. So they honestly don't know much, even just down to life skill basics, like how to open their food or how to, like, they don't know what a line is. You can't just say get in line, or like let's make a circle. What does that mean? Like everything that you're gonna do in a kindergarten lesson, you need to break it down to the most minute of ideas. Even sitting, if we're sitting, they need to be told exactly how to sit. I say crisscross applesauce, hands in your lap, and that's their cue. I do that when they're like moving too, and then they know to sit crisscross applesauce. I have assigned seats for my kindergartners. They will not remember them till like November, so we usually don't change them all year. Kindergarten though, you have to have a lot of energy. You have to sort of be a performer, sort of like a clown almost, because if you're not fun and engaging and like woo, then you will lose them so quickly. But they just want to be loved, they just want to be noticed. Knowing their names as quick as you can will definitely help with a lot of like behaviors and things like that. But kindergarten, it's definitely trial by error. My first kindergarten group that I taught was definitely a lot more challenging. The second kindergarten group just happened to be a lot more mature. It was a lot easier to teach them at the beginning of the year. So you never really know what you're getting. If your kids do go to preschool, then you are probably doing much better than I am at the beginning of the year. But just plan fun, engaging, song-based lessons. They love the songs where you're asking like what their name is, where they're singing about their name, or going around the circle. I mean, anything to keep them engaged. Do not try to do anything individualistic with kindergarten off the bat, because the rest of them are incapable of entertaining themselves by themselves. So anyways, maybe I'll put together kindergarten tips after this year, but this only being my third year teaching elementary, I still don't even feel like I have it all the way down. But maybe if I feel good about this year, then I'll make that video after the first week of school this year. Someone said, what is your cell phone policy? Well, at the elementary school I'm at now, they don't have cell phones. I mean, they some of them do, but for the most part, most kids don't own them, and if they do, they are not out. If they ring, it's usually like my 6th or 5th graders in the morning and it's an accident, and if they're like, oh no, like I just let them turn it off and put it away quiet, whatever. If they ring and like they think it's funny, then I'll take it and I'll give it to their homeroom teacher when they pick them up. But at the middle school, that was a whole different ballgame because we were a device school, so every kid was allowed to have their cell phone, which I could do a whole other video in my opinion about that at a middle school level. But anyways, at the middle school, we had like red, yellow, and green zones, and so my classroom was a yellow zone, so they could only use it when they had permission, and they rarely had permission because it was choir, so we were almost always singing. There's just really no time to be on your phone. We didn't do like many research projects or anything where that would even be helpful, but when we did do like small research projects or something like that, then I would allow them. But our school had a whole cell phone policy set in place. But basically, if it rang and you weren't supposed to have it, then I took it and I kept it for the rest of the day, which was allowed by our school. I didn't like give it back to them at the end of the bell because I was middle school. Like, they knew better. They had it on purpose. So that was my policy. What is something you have had to deal with a lot that you least expected to have to handle? Okay, so I'm not trying to scare anyone away. And this mostly was more of a concern when I taught middle school, but I was not prepared to deal with the amount of physical violence that I have been exposed to. Whether it be kids just having episodes where they need to be restrained, or whether it be physical fights. There were a lot of fights when I taught middle school. Luckily, only a couple in my classroom the whole 2 years I was there. I think I literally had 2 in my classroom the whole time I was there. But in the hallway, at recess, I mean, there was a lot of physical fighting. And at the elementary school I work at, I've seen my fair share of physical fights. There's definitely like not as many, and since they're little, they're easier to contain. We also have more security guards at the elementary I work at now than we did at the middle school, where we honestly could have used it. But I was not prepared for that at all. During student teaching, I was teaching in similar environments to what I work in now, but I just didn't witness the physical violence as much. I only saw like one fight while I was student teaching, and they were high schoolers. And the good thing about high school is usually those fights, if they're boys, it's like not that hard to break it up, and if it's girls, other people will jump in and stop it. So I don't know, I just find at high school the kids will usually break the fights up a little bit easier than if it's like elementary or middle, because other kids don't really want to get in on it, or if they do, they're like cheering it on, which is a whole other issue that I could do a whole video on, that kind of fight culture. But yeah, I wasn't prepared for it, so I don't think there is any way you can be prepared for it. Some districts offer the option to have crisis intervention training. My district now does. My old district did not. They actually advised against it, whereas my new district advises you to get it. And I think if you can get it, you should, just to protect yourself and to be able to protect your students in needs of crisis. But yeah, I was not expecting that at all. How do you start out your lesson with boom whackers? Oh, I learned this one by experience, because if you do not have good rules with boom whackers, then they quickly become into very interesting toys that the kids will do whatever with. So before anyone gets boom whackers, I explain the rules. We only hit it on our leg or our shoe. Where do we hit it? On our leg, our shoe. Where do we hit it? On our leg, our shoe. Do we hit it on our head? No. Do we hit our friend? No. Do we hit it on the ground? No. Because if you hit on my ground, it can split the instrument. And then I go through, I usually now, because I've learned that I need to do this, if it's a class who's never done boom whackers, then I will play one of the like musication videos, and I will have 2 boom whackers. I'll be like, look, I have A and I have C, and when I see A pop up, I'm gonna play it, and when I say C pop up, I'm gonna play it, and I'll have them say the letters with me, and then I will demonstrate playing like 2 different letters, so they understand that I'm hitting it when they get, you know, the visual image, they get the auditory, and they're also practicing reading the letters. And then I will hand out like one color to one of the, so then I'll find an easy video to start with that only has like 5 letters, 5 colors in it, and I'll only hand out 5 boom whackers. So I'll give them to kids that I'm pretty sure will get it correct the first time, so they're good models. And then slowly each kid will end up getting their own instrument, but I do it in like little droves, and I add on and I add on and I add on, and that's worked pretty well for me, so I'm gonna keep doing it that way. And the same person asked, what's your favorite activity on first day of class? Which is funny because I'm actually filming a collab this week with some of my other friends who aren't music teachers, and we're all going to be going through our favorite first day activities, so stay tuned for that video. And another video that's coming up, someone said, which planner / lesson planner do you use? So for my personal planner, I use the Hustle Sanely Life Planner by Jessica Massey. And then for my teacher planner, stay tuned because I'm actually filming a teacher planner flip through because I just was sent the most amazing digital teacher planner by my new friend that I met on Instagram, and I really want to show you what she's made and how I'm going to use it because it's freaking awesome. Melissa said she would love to see a teacher budget / financial video. Girl, I am not your guru for that because I need financial help myself. I am very
what?
I am very humbled when it comes to finances. I am not good at finances. I do not claim to be. Yeah, I just have a lot of jobs, but I'm not good at saving money. I'm not good at, I will say, one thing that's awesome that I did is my first year of teaching, I set up, it's not a Roth IRA, but it's something like that. I don't even know what it is. It's a separate savings account outside of my school district's savings account where I'm accumulating money over time, and some of it's in stocks and bonds and some of it's just like whatever, but that was something good that I did. But yeah, I'm not the one who's gonna get you a financial video. If anything, it'd be a learn by my example what not to do video, but maybe one day if I get my life together, then I'll do that. Someone said, how to prep for first year before you know school procedures or room setup. I mean, you can't really do a lot of prep if you don't know what you have or what your school procedures are. What you can look into is gathering activity ideas, because activities are activities no matter what kind of room you're in. So looking to Pinterest, looking to Teachers Pay Teachers, looking through your resource books that you have from college or any method books you have, and just trying to figure out activities, because as long as you have a handle on that, the school procedures and the room setup will be second nature, because activities are going to be what's most important for teaching. Someone said, tips for a first year middle school music teacher. I am linking my 10 tips for specialists below, which would be good for you to watch because those are my tips. Best way to build community. Knowing your students' names. That was in my first 10 tips, but I just think that's so important. Knowing your students' names, getting to know their personalities. As far as building community, I don't know if you're, whoever asked this, I don't know if you're a classroom teacher. I'm not, so like my community is way different because my community is the whole school building. When I taught middle school choir, I guess that's more on par. I only had 150 of the students, but still that was like 1/3 of the building, if not almost half. So to build community in choir, we did a lot of like team bonding activities. The kids knew each other really well because we did a lot of getting to know you. We did a lot of restorative circles. I love restorative circles. We did a lot of just like fun, like I already said that, but team bonding type stuff. Builds classroom community. And our choir, obviously, like they had shirts and like just other little things, but getting to know your kids and encouraging them to get to know each other, and definitely disbanding cliques or anything like that is going to help you build your community. And then she also said, go to classroom management strategies. I have a whole video on my classroom management and behavior system, which is mostly a reward-based system, and I will link that below. What is your favorite grade to teach? Oh my gosh, it's hard because I feel like it depends on what ages your building has. So like when I taught 6th through 8th grade, my favorite was 6th grade because they were the youngest and they were like so excited about everything and they were just happy to be there. 7th grade, I would say out of K to 12, 7th is my least favorite. Something happens to kids in the 7th grade. I do not know what it is, but they are very unpredictable and very weird. Teaching them from 6th to 8th and seeing how they change in 7th was just very odd. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of 7th, but I didn't not like it. It was just lots of weird stuff going on. At my building that's K to 6, I would say my favorite grades to teach would be kindergarten, because they're just so unpredictable and just always fun. Once again, just happy to be there, just want to have fun and love everything. One time my kindergarten class spilled like a donor's choose box that had all those tiny little white styrofoam beads in it, and I was like, I'm not picking these all up by hand, and you can't like vacuum them very well. So I turned into a game like, let's see who can pick up the most, and like they were like, yeah, and they were all for it. Like kindergarten will get hyped for anything. I also really like second because I feel like they're still very, very innocent, but you can do a lot more like curriculum based stuff with them. And then yeah, I think kindergarten and second would be my favorites. I don't dislike any of them. I also really love high school. I really love juniors. Juniors were like my favorite high school because they're so excited about the future, but like they're still really invested in like what they're doing in high school, whereas the seniors, you get like the senioritis that is just not fun to deal with. And freshmen and sophomores are still like sort of figuring themselves out as humans. I feel like juniors are like at a really cool age, so I really like juniors too. Someone else said, have you got any tips for first year teachers? Check my video out. And someone said, starting first grade on the 15th. Ah, so exciting. And I'm excited / nervous. Best advice for first year teachers? Look at my video below. And then someone said, hey girl, hey. So, hey Tracy. Yeah, that's it. Those are all your questions. I will probably do another one of these before school starts. We still got a couple weeks, but I hope some of these answers were sort of helpful. If there's anything else you want more details on, anything you'd want to see like a full video explanation on, I'm willing to do that. And otherwise, I hope you guys are having a fabulous day wherever you are. Be sure to subscribe and stick around. I'll be uploading my classroom setup videos this week, and I will also be going back to school vlogging very soon, which is crazy. But anyways, give it a thumbs up if it was helpful. Leave me any comments of questions or anything that you'd like to add, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.